Hello and welcome to KJ's Kitchen. I am KJ. I'm 14 years a master fitness trainer, a fitness nutrition specialist, and most important to me, I'm a happy mom serving up healthy meals from my kitchen to yours every Wednesday here on Facebook. I am here at 12 o'clock on the Get KJ Fit fan page. You can also check out my Instagram sometime to keep up with all those recipes at Get KJ Fit. So today is part 2 of my 4-week series. Every Wednesday of November, I am bringing you a side dish, a traditional Thanksgiving side dish, but I'm giving it a KJ Kitchen facelift. So still gonna taste great. No one's gonna ask, what on earth am I eating here? It's not gonna be, super restricted. So it's practical, it's tasty, but I'm gonna do a few tweaks that will help you with your health journey, just having a better health, body, life. That's the whole gist of KJ's Kitchen, is practical meals, real life recipes that can be slightly tweaked to make you healthier. So, can I hear of a show of hands? I would love to hear in the comment fields. Do you pumpkin pie? I think that it's so traditional. I don't know if I've ever been to anyone's home, family or friend, who did not serve up pumpkin pie at Thanksgiving. Now, my mom, when growing up, because not everyone likes pumpkin pie in our family, would also go on and make apple pie and cherry pie, and my mom went pie crazy. So today I am bringing you a KJ facelift to pumpkin pie. We're gonna start with the crust. Now, I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't make pie crust. Well, I'll tell you, this one's so easy. When you're in my kitchen, you get easy. So, what makes it so easy is a fantastic food processor. So if you don't have one, I'm sorry, you can do it by hand. I'll teach you how. But I do recommend this because why? Throw it in, get it done. So we're gonna start with the first part of the facelift and explaining why we're gonna be healthier. We're not gonna be using white flour or even whole wheat flour, because that's just as painful to our blood sugar. So if you know anyone in your family or yourself struggling with blood sugar levels, you know what that means, you want to eliminate white and wheat, because they both are a sugar spike. Eating like a piece of bread, whether it be white or wheat, is like worse than a candy bar for spiking that sugar. And it eliminates gluten. We're getting rid of that grain to eliminate gluten, which cuts through your gut, leaving you with IBS later in life. So, you're welcome. We're using Dandy almond flour. Now, almond flour does behave a little differently than regular flour. We'll do some binding agents in there. We're gonna go 2.5 cups of almond flour. Where'd my cups go? Here they are. So, we're gonna have a fun time in the kitchen today because I was not ready. I ran to the market to get a few things, forgot a couple things. Had to go ask a neighbor for some ingredients. Good thing I live in a cool community. And thank you, Brooke. If Brooke's gonna be watching this, I thank you dearly for helping this mama out. I needed to run to her house to get an egg. Yeah, 1 egg. I forgot eggs at the market and I had enough in the fridge, but I needed 1 more egg. That was 2 cups. Here comes a half. So if you are doing this by hand and you're not using a food processor, you are gonna wanna do all your dry ingredients and then all your wet ingredients, and then combine the two as you would for any other time when you're baking. But because I got this bad boy, we're gonna rock and roll straight through. Now, 2 tablespoons of coconut palm sugar. Why do I choose coconut palm sugar? Again, it's glycemic friendly. It will not spike the blood sugar. So, looking out for you guys. 2 tablespoons. It's just gonna give a little sweetness to the crust. You could ignore that. Or if you like your pumpkin pie to have a little sweetness in its crust, you're gonna rock with it. 2 tablespoons of coconut palm sugar. And now we're gonna do a 1/4 teaspoon, just a touch, of salt. My family uses pink Himalayan sea salt. Just keep it in a nice little crock right next to the my stove. I pre-melted this butter because I was looking out for you, saving some time. This is half a stick. Thank you, Alexa. Please stop. Stop. She's my timer. Alexa, stop. Will she listen? Good listener, that girl. Or thing. Alexa is a girl name, so I don't know, should we refer to her as a she? My daughter and I have this conversation all the time. Do you put a gender personification onto inanimate objects? Well, of course, she's like a brain. She's like an IT, whatever. She's a little intellect or whatever. Who knows what you call that? Intelligent, artificial IA? Help me out, guys. Anyway, half a stick of butter melted, going in. This is what I love. I'm just gonna pour it in. I don't have to wait till all my dries are in there. Boop, boop. Here we go. And going for 1 large egg. Boop. Thank you, Brooke. I needed this egg for this crust. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And last but not least, and I better fish it out of my cupboard here, is I like to put in a touch of Tahitian vanilla bean. Now, if you buy the beans, it's gonna take you a while to get all that powder out. So I buy it in bulk, keep it in my Tupperware, and I'm gonna rock a half teaspoon of Tahitian vanilla bean powder into that pie crust. Why? Because vanilla, number one, tastes great, also adds a level of sweetness. So we're gonna rock and roll this. Did I tell you how easy it is? Close, press, get it going. Blending this puppy up. It's gonna become dough. So it will become a blob and work its way around. Yep, it's starting now. You might stop it once. You could. It gets a little crummy in some parts. Separate it a little if you want. That's up to you. And then give her one more whirl. We're almost done. Was that easy? Was that the easiest pie crust you've ever had? I don't need you to do cold butter chopped in and pressed in. We're gonna melt that butter and make it easy. That's nice. Done. That dough is doughy. Let me show you the dough. Here we go. Boop, boop. It's dough. Perfect, right? We're gonna rock that into a 9-inch, deep 9-inch pie pan. Oh, by the way, set your oven to 350 degrees, huh? Here we go. I'm gonna rock this puppy. You know, I have one in the oven that I wanted to show you, cooled off and delicious, but it just, time got away this morning. I told you I had to run to the market. That's why we're gonna have a good time over here. It's still in the oven. So while that's still cooking, we're gonna rock on. I would recommend you doing a circular parchment paper at the bottom of the pie pan. Just gonna help from preventing a sticking. And I go ahead and use my hands, up to you how messy you wanna get. And I'm just gonna first drop it in. Boo-doop. Yeah. Blade came with it, that's all cool, I don't mind. Get that blade off, and voila. Was that easy, guys? So here's I just dropped it in. Nothing fancy. And what I'm gonna do is I'll butter my hands real quick. Do I have some butter? Just grazing the sides of this butter container that I melted my butter in, because that makes life easy. Easy peasy. And just so that it don't stick, I'm pressing the pie crust down with my fingers. And now, if you want a fancy pie, you can go ahead and make a fancy edge, fancy trim. And, boop, boop. If not, you'll just leave it all lifted and looking, edgy. Looking edgy. Wish you could see. Maybe I can aim this in. Doo-doo. So you can see what I'm doing here, right? Check me out. All right, here we go. So if you get a little sticky, That's where an amazing little spatula can come in, and you can press with, still with my hand, I'm pushing down as if it were my fingers, using my finger like this, but it's a whole lot less sticky on the spatula than it is me. Guys, so I will let you know, this pie crust, I tried a few variations of pie crust. This was the hot ticket. And of course, all of them were almond flour. This one held up the most like a traditional pie crust. And I liked the ease and the way it baked. It becomes a very beautiful golden. There we go. We're gonna get this guy out of the oven. Hang tight, don't go anywhere. Told you we're gonna have a good time here. Hi guys, hi Ashley, Stephanie, thanks for joining me. Here we go. I'm gonna pull this puppy out. Boop, boop. Let him sit out for a bit. I doubt he's gonna be delicious enough, or cooled enough, he's delicious enough to bite into while we're here together. Okay, so still pressing. You see that was easy, but it's a little lumpy. So I just take my time to get it a little flatter. Again, that's a cosmetic. That's something in my head that's cosmetic. I'm like, I can't put a lumpy pie crust in the oven, even though it's gonna get filled and no one will see the lumps. But that's just me. I also like it a little even. So pressing, pressing, pressing. I feel it with my hands, so it's not like heavy on one side and thinner on the other. So I like it a little even, and I'm almost done here. So thanks for hanging out while I press pie crust. Now, if you like fancy pie crust, here's where you're gonna get the fancy stuff going on. Yes, my pie crust makes me sing. Here's the fancy. If you're going fancy, I just take the edges with my fingers and press them down, and you'll see it's nothing super fancy. I don't really have like any form of like baking, technical baking training. I like to bake. I like when baking goods are pretty. So at least, you see what I'm doing? I'm just dipping my finger in and doing this. I don't know, I'm pushing. Can I show you? Will it show? I'm pushing down while my thumb holds the other side. So it gets a little lip, a little like an ocean wave. Who doesn't love a good ocean wave, right? It's pretty. Is that called lattice? No, that's not lattice. Lattice is when you like weave your pie. Someone help me. What is this called when you make the pie edge pretty? Who knows these things? I'd like some help. All right, hi Jennifer, thanks for watching. Jennifer, you can answer this. What's it called when you edge your pie with pretty lumps? I thought it was lattice, but I kind of feel like that's the woven part on the top of a pie, or like what you do when a fence is woven, right? That's what lattice is. So I definitely don't have the word for that. I would love some help. Here we go, I'm almost all the way around. Didn't take too much time. Got to have you here with me. Here we go. How pretty is that? All the way around. Okay, next step, and I find it to be a rather important one, would be to take a fork and fork it. I just put fork holes all the way around in good little areas. I even take it on the side and fork a couple places on the side. Now this is going to prevent big bubbles. I'm putting this puppy in for 10 or 12 minutes. Let's rock 12. Putting it in, the oven is preheated to 350. Not sure why it got to 355. That must have been too many touches on that button. Alexa, set timer for 12 minutes. She's amazing.
12 minutes, starting now.
Okay, next, while you're waiting for that to bake, you're gonna get the pie filling done. Okay, here's the deal. You can make your pie filling the way everyone in your family must have, but I'm gonna teach you a little bit more mindful version of the KJ Kitchen tweak on your pumpkin pie filling. And we're gonna rock it in a good old bowl. This we can set aside because we don't need him any longer. All right, here we go. I like to start with the dry ingredients first, and let's talk quickly about the sugar. So I have tried this with all coconut palm sugar because that's the mindful sugar, right? And I'll tell you my daughter's response. Mom, we need to talk about the pumpkin pie. I was like, what, honey? So first comment she made before she said we need to talk about it was the pie was darker than she's used to seeing, and that was because of the coconut palm sugar. And then she's, eating it. She's halfway through her piece, and she's like, we need to talk about this pie. I don't think it's very sweet. So if your kids are picky and they get it the way my daughter, who's 5, gets it, you are going to do what I'm going to show you here. If you and your family are very mindful about your blood sugar and you try to avoid sugar due to imbalances in your blood sugar, you might go for all coconut palm sugar. It's still sweet. As an adult, I thought it still tasted delicious. But I'm going to make you a kid-friendly version right here. So instead of straight up just sugar, I am going half and half, and I'm doing it with a third cup of regular table sugar, like white sugar, and a third cup of coconut palm. So it's gonna cut the color and boost the sweet factor and make my daughter happy. So again, if, whoa, I just dumped sugar all over. Wasn't that cool? I wasn't looking. If you want full 100% coconut palm sugar in this, or you might even choose to use an alternative like monk fruit. That's up to you. Sugar alcohols do have a slightly different taste because of that alcohol part of it, but that's an option. Again, here goes our coconut palm, and you'll see it really is much darker than sugar, so it would do a whole lot more color change. You see that difference? That's a big difference, even more than brown sugar. So I rock that out. If you are someone who's like, I love my pumpkin pie spice and that is all I ever do and all I ever will do, you'll use 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice. If you want to do it the KJ way, you're going to take some spices, and I'll show you my little variation here. You're going to do 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Here we go. Boop. This one's coming from Aldi's organic ground cinnamon. You don't always find organic spices everywhere. It's nice that you can when you can. And I'm going to do a half teaspoon ground ginger. Half teaspoon. Hello, ginger. Here we go. Half teaspoon. Now I'm going to rock out a 1/4 teaspoon each of nutmeg and ground cloves. 1/4 teaspoon nutmeg, there you are. And cloves, looks like this one came from Walmart. I can tell the brand, it was organic option. Woo. Not always though. Hey, it's good when you find them. There you go. Half teaspoon ground cloves. And let's not forget the salt. We're gonna do a half teaspoon of salt. My daughter asked me the other day, why do you put salt in it if it's sweet? And I say, because salt brings forward the flavor better. Just gonna give that a little spin around, a little swirly whirl and swirl. There we go. Now it's all one flavor. That's why I do that step. I then start with 2 eggs beaten. I beat them before you got here because it just saves me time. 2 eggs beaten. I'm adding that in. I like to use my spatula to scrape out as much of that as I can. Whisk it. You'll see that color is dark. Okay. Let's not forget about pumpkin. If you make your own pumpkin and you roast it in the oven and you get it all pumpkin-y, it'll be about 1 2/3 cup. But I'm rocking out a can of pumpkin. It's puree, not pumpkin pie filling. Pumpkin puree. So there's no anything in there but pumpkin. This one came from Aldi's by Baker's Corner, right? And I'm gonna pop that puppy in there. So it's a 15-ounce can. If you need to do 2 pies, you would get the bigger can and you would double up all the other good stuff I'm showing you here. And getting him. You could use a hand mixer, guys, for this step, but I'm not afraid of whisking. That's me personally. And last but not least, and it's not sitting on here because it's in the fridge, what you're used to is evaporated milk, right? Well, I find that has a ton of liquid, and the evaporated milk has higher carb count than using a dandy alternative, like heavy cream. So instead of 12 ounces of evaporated milk, I'm going for a half cup. That's 4 ounces of heavy cream. We like organic. It avoids that weird polysorbate 80 and stuff that goes in there. We're gonna go half, 4 ounces right there, half cup. Rocking that out again with my dandy little spatula. And now, here's the deal too. That coconut palm sugar, I'm just gonna give it a little whiskey woo. Check my recipe here, make sure I didn't miss anything. That coconut palm sugar made it darker, correct? Well, the heavy cream, even more so than the evaporated milk, because it's so much more dense, makes it light again. That's orange. That is the color of a pumpkin pie. Okay, that's that. Here we go. That's beautiful. Is that beautiful or what? Nice and loose. If you've never made pumpkin pie before, you see it is super loose. Okay? Smells great. And we're gonna wait for that pie crust to come out. My girl Alexa is working on something over there. I think it has about 4.5 more minutes in the oven, that pie crust. Now, I do recommend when that pie crust comes out, it will be, you want around, 10 to 12 minutes, 11 or 12 minutes. You want the pie crust slightly golden. Essentially, we've cooked the crust. So if you were doing a different type of pie and you just want to use this awesome pie crust recipe, fill it with your favorite, meringue or whatever kind of pie, pudding pie that you are doing that doesn't need baked, it's ready to go. If you want to put something in there to bake, whether that be your pumpkin pie that I'm showing you today, or apple pie, or whatever other fruit-based or pecan pie, you need to bake it again, I suggest you leaving this pie shell out for at least 10 minutes or so before filling it and putting it back in, giving it some cool time. If you're not in a rush and you have time, just let the pie crust cool completely before filling it and putting it back in. Halfway through the time, I suggest you baking it around 325, so you just drop the heat to get the pie in the oven. You're gonna bake it for about 50 minutes to an hour. You're gonna feel it out and see what it looks like. And if you see what I did here, somewhere around 25 minutes in the oven, I took aluminum foil and I covered the edges of the crust to prevent them from getting way too dark, right? So I'm just gonna reveal that crust reveal here. Reveal the crust and show you. This one got a little tall. That's why you saw me pinching it a little lower last time. That crust is nice and golden brown. And that pie, it still needs to sit. It's not wiggling. It's nice and done. It was in the oven at 325 for 50 minutes before you heard Alexa ding while I was here live. I let her stay in an extra 5 minutes or so. So you might get it up to about an hour. You want this to cool completely. And I do even recommend maybe keeping it in the fridge for about an hour after it's been cooled to really let it sit. And then you could bring it out for room temperature for serving. But I just gave you a little KJ Kitchen facelift to pumpkin pie. Hopefully that served you. And hey, even if you hate pumpkin pie and there's no way you're bringing this to Thanksgiving, then you can use this bangin' pie crust that's made of almond flour for any of your other favorite pies. Cool? So sorry I could not give you a little taste on camera because that's what I love to do. But what I will do is take a little taste because last night I was playing around with my homemade pumpkin from the oven. So I did make a little custard, well, AKA pie without the crust. And I will show you. And this is the version where my daughter was like, Mom, why is it so dark? Mom, why isn't it so sweet? So this one was 100% coconut palm sugar, but with the same spice blend. And me? I think it's great. So if you're adulting and you have adults at your dinner, go 100% with coconut palm. It will be a little darker, but the flavor is still amazing. And if you have picky kids like my 5-year-old, you're gonna cut it with half sugar, half coconut palm. And it's still being a little more mindful. I hope this recipe served you. This is week 2 of the 4-part series. Next week, we're going to be breaking into another hot side dish that you would have at the dinner table. So stay tuned. Join me next Wednesday, 12 o'clock here on Facebook. And I thank you so much. If you want all of my original recipes into your inbox, you're gonna click the link below. I will post the link right now even though it would be last week's recipe you're getting, just so you can get on it now. It takes me a day or 2 to get the new recipes up and going, but you can still sign up. Make sure you get onto the email list. You get a new recipe every single week. If you know that someone could be served from this recipe here today, please tag them, share it on your wall, share the love, guys. My mission is to help as many people as I can live a healthier, balanced life. So if that means one of your friends could benefit from this, please do share. Lots of love. Have a wonderful Wellness Wednesday. My pie crust is done. I can show you now the level of beauty that comes out of this crust. Right. Before you fill it. Alexa, stop. Have a great one, guys. Happy Wellness Wednesday. I'm going to fill this puppy up in about 10 minutes and bake it for a second beautiful pie for my family. I really appreciate you tuning in. Have a wonderful day.